Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And it is Wednesday, and it's breaking news. Manchester United apparently have almost completed signing of new manager Ten Hag. Welcome to the channel, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And guys, it is Happy Day, Celebration Day. As I said, I'll always back whoever Manchester United appointed as the new manager. But breaking news at the moment come from several sources that Erik Ten Hag officially will be announced sooner rather than later as a Man United manager. But it's Manchester United, so let's see if it deal just crossed the line. So as always, welcome back, Bath Time, sir. How are we doing today?
Yeah, really good, Solo. Delighted to be here. Hello, everyone.
Excellent. Mr. OMONDI, sir, how are we doing?
Yeah, happy to be here too, man. Hello, everybody.
And Paddy.
Hello, how are you?
Sir, how are we doing, sir?
Great to be here. Loving it as usual. Fantastic news. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So, guys, let's kickstart. Breaking news. Me and Amanda was talking today on the phone, and we were saying, there's nothing really and truly catching our attention. While we're talking, all of a sudden, there's breaking news. And it's come from ESPN, a few other outlets coming out at the moment say United are very close to appointing Erik Ten Hag as the new Man United manager. There is apparently a 5-year plan as well, so we're not even 100% sure what sort of contract he'll be getting. But as always, guys, how happy are we doing, or how is this a PR stunt to sort of get us back on track at the club with these owners? Let's go to, I don't know, let's go Bath Time to kickstart it.
Yeah, like I'm sort of, I suspect I'm like a lot of fans where I felt quite jaded about a lot of stuff, and then I see that shiny bald head, and the future feels pregnant with promise, like that the good times are back. I have some concerns with Ten Hag, but I don't think that anyone could say it's not going to be an exciting appointment, a forward-thinking appointment. And I'm really hoping that later on I can talk about things like resting defense and all these really high-level tactical stuff that I'm hoping that he brings to our club. So for me and all of us in the Bath, we're extremely excited.
Monday.
In the words of Sam Cooke, I was born by a river, a little tent, but just like that river, anyway, it's been a long time coming, and we know a change is going to come. I think this is the right appointment for that change to come for Man United, because finally we might have some sort of style of play, some identity, and sometimes we need to get slapped down for that change to come. We need to be on your face before the change comes. And at the moment, I think it's been a long time since we've been challenging for any major trophies. I think big clubs should challenge for major trophies, the two of them, the league title and the Champions League. And we haven't come close to that. So hopefully that change will come and a new direction. And I'm really happy about the appointment.
Yeah. I was just sitting there saying before I go to Paddy, the song that came in my head the minute you said it's a long time. You know the song? Who sing "It's Been a Long Time"?
I don't know. Furious song.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes. See, Paddy.
Well, as a long time Man United fan, this is good news, and I have been since he was muted to be manager. I've been going with him. We always have to feel our gut instinct, don't we? And I hope I'm right all the way through. But yeah, Ten Hag, I think, is the right one, especially what I've seen of the comments being made about him by other managers, Guardiola in particular. I think it's a really good appointment. Pochettino, no go. I did see some ex-players this week talking about, he'd be the best player, best manager for our style of play. No, thank you.
Okay, so it's coming from mainly ESPN as well, and the quote is: Man United are reportedly set to finalize the appointment of Erik Ten Hag as the club next permanent manager. So United have been under interim management of Ralph Rangnick since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked back in November. So Bath Time, let's come to you, sir, first. And is this a good appointment?
Yes. In theory, yes, it's a good appointment. Does it have a lot of drawbacks? Are there potential roadblocks? Yes, I'm worried that this is an appointment by the fans for the fans. Is my first concern. The Glazers are above all popularists. They always try and give us what we think we want. And they're so wildly out of tune that they thought that Manchester United, a club built on the European Cup, would want a European Super League. Like they give us ridiculous things we don't need or want. And I'm worried that a lot of this has been driven by Twitter and social media that this is the candidate that everyone wants. I wanted Pochettino. I'm happy with Ten Hag, but I think if you get a guy in from a weaker league like the Eredivisie, they have to have monumental achievements to go straight into a big club. I'm talking about Ferguson, I'm talking about Klopp, I'm talking about Pep. Like those guys broke up hegemonies and duopolies, and like they basically like changed the way we saw how football could be played. Ten Hag hasn't done any of that, so I think that he's going to need a lot of time and a lot of patience, and I'm not sure that our fan base will give it to him. But all in all, I'm really excited to see the tactics and the players that come in. I'm hoping it's the start of a new dawn, but I've seen more new dawns than a cult member from the cult New Dawn.
Oh,
right,
brilliant.
that's me done.
Let's go Monday.
Yeah, I think it's like Bath Time saying, how do you gauge how good this guy is? I think he's passed the test, in my opinion. You can only win the Dutch league domestically. He's won the cup, won the Dutch league. He's done all that. Transitioned the squad, sold players, all his best players, brought young players through. You've got that lovely centre back. You've got that great midfielder, Ryan Gravens Birch or something his name is. He's highly touted and plays a system that's good and is effective in Europe as well. We saw what they did getting to the semi-final, and we saw what he did this season in the group stages. I keep repeating, beating Dortmund is one of the top performances I've seen. Really, really good performance. I expected a lot from Dortmund this season, and they really, it's like boys to men. In regards to what Bath Time was saying about, is it the pressure signing from the fans or social media driven? I disagree. I think if I asked you all you guys who was the most exciting young coach, how maybe Pep was at one time, how Klopp was at one time, I think it would be the Ajax coach. You know, they're doing bits at the moment. They're overperforming based on what we see in the Champions League. You know, so I think he is the right man for the job, and I think the decision's been made not just on social media. There is a question mark, I agree, but on logic and long-term success. And as Bath Time did say, I repeat again, Bath Time covered really some good points there, but we need to be patient with him. This is the main thing, and support him all the way.
Yeah, and Paddy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pleased. Obviously, I've said earlier. I mean, I don't want Pochettino in there because he's a loser. He's hasn't done. I don't think for me, he's done enough for me. And I think Ten Hag he has done great. I know, talking about the Dutch league, he has done ever so well. I mean, he led up to their first title, Ajax to their first title in 2019. The same year the club, completed a domestic double and reached the Champions League semi-final for the first time since 1997. Ajax were trying to retain the title last season and are aiming to secure the double this season. So he really has. He's done well. I know it's a poor league. I do see the points that Bath Times mentioned about is it a fans choice and stuff, but from the ground I've seen and read about Guardiola and all the managers, and he's worked on Guardiola obviously, but he's got a pedigree. He really has. He's really worked. And I like all these managers. Like Mourinho did. He went into Europe. He's worked it when he did at Barcelona. He worked under Bobby Robson, and he's sort of learned and worked and gone back to Ajax and adopted his style and obviously took some of that to Ajax. So I think it's a good choice, and I'm really looking forward. It's a new start, and that plan, as OMONDI said, has got to be incorporated in what he does. And I'm really positive about this appointment. I'm really 100% for it. I'm a Ten Hag fan.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to go into, and I'm going to come to Bath Time as well. With this one, obviously with Ajax, he deals with like a few younger players, but Man United right now, especially in dressing room, do you think he could come in and deal with sort of these characters in the changing room, because there's some big characters there who probably think they're better than what they actually are as footballers?
Okay, well, there's two points that stand out to me. The first point is that Ten Hag is coming from an extremely well-run club to a dysfunctional club, and that is like at every level, from like canteen staff, board, like the youth team. There's real issues across all of them. The other thing is that Ten Hag is more of a coach than a manager, I believe. Like, he's not working with the 8-year-olds or whatever. Ajax has a system and a system of play that is ingrained from the start. So there is a slight question mark for me there how well he'll perform with all that structure, that institutionalization taken away from him. On to the fact about motivating, getting the best out of the players. I think that with football fans, we like to sort of like invest in this idea of almost a dictator as a manager, an authoritarian presence that rules with fear. And if you don't do well enough, you're out, and players are scared all the time and stuff. I think with not just like the modern workplace, but with our footballers, we need to get a family atmosphere inside the dressing room of people working and sacrificing for each other. And I think that if Ten Hag can build that kind of spirit, helped by people like Fletcher who have experienced it, I think we will see the best of players that, to be honest, we've only ever really seen under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that was a similar family environment that went dysfunctional. So I'm quite excited to see what leadership seminars Ten Hag is going to deliver to Paul Pogba and the boys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also going with that as well, bring it into as well with what you just said there about time with Pogba, is this could be a crunching time as well for Paul Pogba. Obviously, deals on the table. There's rumours him taking a pay cut. Could anyone see him really and truly working with Ten Hag?
No, I can't. His time at the club is done and dusted. I would expect that Mata has more of a future under Ten Hag than Pogba does. It's time to just have a divorce and get rid of Paul and send him on away with our best wishes, and that's generous. But for me, no, Paul Pogba is done and has been nothing more than a disaster at our football club. I know you like him, but that's how I feel.
Let's go to Paddy.
Well, I back up Bartholom's comments. Paul Pogba, for me, has failed. He returned back to the club and it hasn't worked out correctly for him. He obviously needed to get what he needed to have done is go down to the museum for maybe a couple of hours and watched a couple of videos of all those great midfield players we've had in the past, and then gone, is that how that's what I need to emulate, instead of just going off to a restaurant somewhere in Manchester to celebrate his winning, joining the club. So I do absolutely disastrous signing. Hasn't done anything. And I think he's leaving a club really after embarrassing, really, to shameful to just leave the club. He hasn't done anything. It's been a failure. Sorry, and I'm going with Bartholom on his comments on the way
on Monday.
Interesting comments. It's making me think. So Bartholom says he could be more of a coach than a manager. I think I'm thinking about that right now. I think he has to coach his philosophy. That's the main thing. Get that over on the club, every level, bring that through, and that's his job to coach that. When it comes to being a manager, I'm thinking, well, what other factors come into it? And one thing that made me laugh is I'm thinking, right, if he's a better coach than a manager, and he wants to bring in, apparently we heard rumors that Steve McLaren. That the same applies with him. Steve McLaren wasn't a good manager. He's a better coach on the training fields. So probably trainers would be great, but when it comes to actually discipline and management, maybe he's going to be a flop. I don't know. I'm just joking. But I do think Ten Hag, this is his big job. This is his step up. And I'm sure, like Bartholom saying, it is a dysfunctional club. I'm sure he's going to have the attitude right, because you have to set it from day one and sort of say, reinvent yourself and say, right, I'm going to go into the club and be consistent. If I go in there from day one and be consistent with the boys, so there's no backstabbing, there's no saying, there's favoritism or whatever. Set the rules. These are the rules. What I think, when you come into the club, this is what I expect from you guys, and just be consistent like that. I think he needs to change. So if he was a bit soft in a family club, a well-structured club like Ajax, and that management thing wasn't so important, it is going to be more important now that he's at Manchester United. So when he goes through that door, as soon as he starts that job, no matter what people have heard about him, or whispers or players are told, Ajax players are told, Man United players about what he's like, he needs to say, I need to be strict right now with it and be consistent with it. Yeah. And if people don't follow the rules, or a bit like Arteta, if someone's late, your captain's late, you drop him, that sort of thing. I'd like to see that from him, and I think he's more than capable of doing that. And as for Pogba, I don't think Pogba's going to be part of this system going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, I don't honestly believe. But reports obviously coming out today from ESPN regarding this whole situation at the moment. And I think what with Ralph Rangnick as well, there was rumors, some sort of rumors came out today saying that he might join the Australian team. I'm wondering if this had something to do with it on them fast tracking Erik Ten Hag now to come to Manchester United, because are they worried, the club, that they might lose Ralph Rangnick?
Can I just come in on that? Yeah. That story isn't true. It's Austrian as well. The Austrian club have put out a tweet saying that there's nothing in it.
Oh, fair enough. So
I think it's easy just to move past that one.
Yeah, just move past that one. I wonder if a few of the comments. No, that's fine. That's fine.
I don't know. I was expecting more excitement than this in the comments, but it's just not like blowing up. SHAH is saying, let's see the vision now come together. Oh, he's excited. If he's our manager, we back him. Yes, you tell him, SHAH. Yeah. I expect a minimum of 100%. Hago, I don't follow that. Never will die. All these hashtags, United. He's a real fan. He goes to games. Pat Lord is saying, good evening. How you doing? We've got Bargav in the house as well. Matt's in the house as well. He's smashing it. Benzema smashing it. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about strikers there. Stumpy's in the house as well. His talks about Pardew are going really well. Sorry, Stumpy, but we're not going with that. Football United saying, I hear reports that Dortmund are sniffing around Ten Hag as well because of recent managers under fire, and they see Ten Hag as perfect fit. I think Jude Bellingham is coming here.
There's rumors as well. There's rumors regarding that today. I think it was Andy Cole or someone like that came out and said that the club need to get him.
Oh, here we go. We've got someone happy. It's Sue82. How you doing, Sue? She said it's nice to have someone to be happy about. Hooray! Ten Hag. Hope the board back him and the fans. Actually, yeah, big up. Pogba has to go. Bring in Ryan, says Matty. Pat Lawler says we know him. We will know from Ten Hag's first transfer window who goes, who stays, if he will succeed or not. Let's see if he can get control of the situation. And lastly, Sue is saying, two more, sorry, if you don't mind. Sue saying, no quick fix building the club up. Ten Hag's right mentality. He is in charge. We need to just play well and be consistent, take time. Discipline is needed big time. I just want to say hi to Bill Baggio. Bill, thank you for all the comments you give, because guys, after the show, when you go and check out the YouTube channel, Bill is number one when it comes to having a conversation. And finally, you've come on the show to have a proper conversation. He said, good evening. You're busy. I know you can't stick around, he says, but I will catch up in the morning when, we engage you and have a chat about this podcast later. And that's it.
Thank you. And then one last one on Monday before we move on.
Sorry, Sue saying, I'm happy, guys, but scared because of our crappy board. But we will see if this is a good decision by them. Hey, guys. Yeah, hey, Sue.
Okay, I'm just going to go around the thing quickly. I know that Bath Time, you wanted to say something earlier when we were in backstage.
I want to hear what Bath Time's got to say.
So you want to hit it up, Bath Time?
Interesting to tell us.
Okay, so a pundit on another channel that I do some stuff with is a journalist, and he has told us that one of the things that is going on with the negotiations is something that's very common with managers these days, which are failure clauses. A failure clause is where you agree on a budget or anything really, and that there is a penalty given to the manager if that isn't achieved. At PSG, they allegedly owe Maurizio Pochettino 20 million, which is why they're saying, just like he can go on a free if he wants, because he will, of course, give up that 20 million penalty clause. With the I dotting the I's and the lowercase J's and all the things that's going on with Ten Hag at the moment, these will be things like penalty clauses and the real nitty gritty of the deal. So I am also slightly a little bit nervous that we could see Ten Hag back out if his demands aren't met. Having said that, the club is in a very weak negotiating position. There's only two candidates. And the firm favourite from the fans and the social media, you'd assume would have them over the barrel. So that is what Tom the Journalist, at Twitter, Tom the Journalist 1, has been telling us. And I'd like to know everyone's thoughts on that in the comments and from the panel.
Can I go first on this?
Go on Monday.
I think it's interesting. It gives the manager a lot more power. I think if you sign a contract and have expectations and say, right, we're going to provide you this is they would say this is the personal spec. This is what we want from you. You're going to say, well, I'll come to you, but I want this delivered for me to succeed in my goal. And I think it's a great. This is the first time I've ever heard of this. So thank you, Bath Time, for. Give me that sort of knowledge, because I didn't know that this thing goes on. It really suits the manager. Managers now have a lot more power, and they can walk away from a club and not be grilled from the fans by saying they didn't give me what he wanted. You know, it's long gone in the good days when we had Kevin Keegan standing on the stairs in front of Newcastle fans, telling them everything what goes on, you know, with the board and the board, shut the fuck up, you know, that kind of thing. You know, so I think that's a great deal, because it is breaking the contract. If you want me to do a job, you know. Here's a job. Here's the criteria which I want you to fulfill. If you don't fulfill that, then yeah, there should be some sort of compensation. I like that one.
Oh yeah, go on, Paddy.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it, Bath Time? That Pochettino's got a failure clause. I bet he's the only manager who's got a failure clause because he's a failure. So he's got a failure clause. But joking aside, Bath Time.
Yeah.
United explore, according to the source at the Manchester Evening News, I think Samuel Lockhurst, I think he's excellent. His reporting is fantastic. Apparently, they did explore the possibility of hiring Pochettino after Ole went in November, but emboldened by the Argentina if he was going to come or not. Sources are saying to him that PSG played hardball and United were unprepared to pay the compensation package of 15 million. So that's the reason I put them off. Now, Ten Hag's contract apparently is a knockdown 1.7 million, according to my source at the moment. So that's an interesting one. But that's what I've read into what's going on at the moment with Samuel Lockhurst at the Manchester News, who's a very, very good. He's got a good source on things like this.
Okay, so Paddy, are you saying that like the club see Ten Hag as the budget option?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it could be. It could be possibly. Are they going to pay 15 million? Package for Pochettino? I don't, and then you see release clause in Ten Hag's contract at 1.7. I don't know how. You're right. It's a good question. It's a very, very good. I don't know if I can answer that, but I'd rather go for Ten Hag and Pochettino, obviously, because that's my consider. That's what I want to see. But it's a good point. Good point.
Yeah. Does that Solo Monday? Does that worry you? Maybe that they see Ten Hag as just the cheaper option, or are you just so excited?
It is worrying. It's very worrying because for me, I'd rather us get it right rather than incorrect. At the moment, it's sort of like confusing, and I think you said it earlier as well. There's only two options of two managers that actually they're looking into. When there's a lot of managers are out there, but I think what they're trying to do as the owners is going for the cheapest options, which is going to be Ten Hag and Poch. So it is worrying. It is worrying when you look at it that way.
Can I come in there on their Bath Time? Because they did consider two other options. The Spain coach, Luis Enrique.
No way he's going to go United. No way.
Yeah, I know that.
But they did. No way.
They did consider, and Julian Lopetegui of Seville. They were considered. So it's nice that Ten Hag has been highly rated. I think he's just a.
But is it rumours? There's only two people that actually got the interview for the job, though. That's only two out of the four, apparently.
I think there was some quite concrete stuff around Luis Enrique, but he certainly wouldn't leave with Spain as one of the favourites for the World Cup. And you assume that would mean Ragnick staying on until Enrique would take over, and Ragnick is not popular with the players, and I don't know, is he popular with the fans now?
I still like him.
Not with you, Bath Time.
No, it's never been with me. I don't, Amanda. No.
Yeah, I know. You've made that very clear.
I made it clear before he came, and I like to think I was right on it.
I don't know. It's still up for debate, I think. Maybe we should discuss that another time.
Sure.
15 in the chat, guys. Hit that like. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And we are going to go on to the next topic. But I am excited. And for me, as a United fan, whoever the manager of Manchester United is, I'll back them. Back them totally. We need to back this new manager, whoever it is. If it is Ten Hag, as what they're saying, we have to back him. We got to give the manager at least a good 3 to 5 years of full backing. But the club has to back the manager as well. Right, guys. One of
Rene.
Rumor is at the moment regarding Rene. Oh, what we're saying, Rene or Rene?
Rene.
The rumors surrounding him at the moment, if Ten Hag was to come in as the Man United manager, the consideration, we spoke about Steve McLaren yesterday, and today we're talking about another ex-coach at Manchester United. Now, for me, if he comes in at the club at Man United, I think I'll be quite happy, actually. I would be quite happy as a coach, him coming in as... Because I remember when he left Man United, it was under David Moyes. Got to say that, right? Under David Moyes, when David Moyes came in the club and basically was told not to get rid of anyone, keep the backroom staff. But for some reason, David Moyes went and literally cleared the whole backroom staff. I knew there was quotes regarding with Rio Ferdinand. He wasn't happy with it. There was Vidic and Evra also came out in their books, weren't very happy with David Moyes getting rid of him. So, guys, there's rumours that he might be back at the club. How are we feeling about that? Bath time.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, lads. I've got to leave in 2 minutes. I've been double booked this evening. My thoughts on Rene. I watched the show last night. A great show with a guy, I'm probably going to say his name not wrong, Malakins.
Yes.
I'm very, very surprised after the information that he gave, which is worth checking out, lads, if you haven't seen it, about how there's been a long-running struggle between sort of like Fergie loyalists and Ed Wood Easters in the club. Rene is a Fergie loyalist.
Yep.
So it's a very, and also Steve McLaren is as well. It's a very surprising appointment if it happens based on what we were told. I would love McLaren in. I think Rene will be great. My only slight concern with Rene is I think he's been out of the game for a very, very long time at the top level. Like, he didn't do particularly well at Fulham. Like, we have like a similar bold man in the dugout that has become like the sort of the dartboard for people to get angry at. I think now it might be a good idea to have a complete break from Ferguson. Not from Manchester United sort of culture, but just from Ferguson and people who have worked with him, and just move forward in a new direction. But I'd like to thank everyone for listening. I'm sorry, boys, I can't hear the answer.
Thank
I
you
have
so
to
much.
go.
Big up,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the best.
Omondi, I know you got a few things to say about Rene. Meulensteen, go on.
Yeah. I think Rene, obviously, he's established at Man United. He was really there during a successful era. And from all accounts, he's a very good coach, you know. I was disappointed when he left, like you said, Errol. That was a good shout there. I mean, he was sort of did leave the club, and we've sort of gone downhill since. That's not the catalyst, but I think he was from what I understand, he was a very good coach and well respected. You know, I think the link is here. Ten Hag wants to get someone, because we have to talk about the contrast between Dutch football and English football. Ten Hag wants to. There's not going to be many successful Dutch managers coming to the Prem. So Ten Hag wants to get someone, i.e., Stephen McLaren, who knows about the Premiership, and he's worked with before, or Rene, who's Dutch and worked at Man United before, someone who knows the Premiership as well, and also managed at Fulham. So that would be an understanding. But like Bath Time was saying, like Phil was saying, there is an issue there of some internal civil war between the Fergieites and the Woodwardites or whatever is going on, you know, with the different camps. So I don't know about that. I just think Ten Hag's got to think about his best team, who he feels more comfortable working with, who wants to be there with him. And I'm sure the Premiership is so massive now. I'm sure Ten Hag would be able to give a dossier on most Premiership teams already, even though he's managers at Ajax and he's there full time, focused on the Dutch league and all these games and everything else. I'm sure Dutch football is massive in. The Premiership is massive in Dutch football, and I'm sure he'd be able to give you a great presentation on every single club and things we wouldn't know already. So I'm not sure if that's really essential to get one of these guys with a link, because he had Premiership experience. And like Bath Time was saying, this was a long time ago. There's a word about Robin Van Persie. Maybe I would be more inclined to get Robin Van Persie. He's on the up. He's got recent
as well,
UEFA badges. Recent UEFA badges. He's established new modern the stars of football. He would be on board with that sort of thing. He's respected, a bit like when we see Vieira, Gerrard, they get the respect of this age group of people because they're legends, they were great players. So I think Robin Van Persie, maybe for me, would be someone I'd be more inclined to sort of have a look at.
But I'm going to say here, Matthew Bassett said about the whole thing with Yapstam. Yapstam have been linked as well. I wouldn't mind seeing Yapstam. Yapstam was at his last club, Reading. Took Reading into the playoff, but unfortunately wasn't back the following season. And Reading sort of been deducted a few points here, there, and sort of fighting for relegation at the moment. But I would, if I had a choice, it's going to be Meulensteen, or I'd honestly say I'll bring in Yapstam. I don't think bringing... I hear your point with Robin van Persie, that being sort of, leaving the other side of London to come to Manchester to win a league. But for me, I would honestly say, I think seeing what Yapstam have accomplished and what he's got in his career, I would bring him to United instead as a number 2. Paddy?
Yeah, interesting. Interesting what Bath Times said actually about the loyalists, and obviously your guest last night on his about the loyalists. I think, football is so cyclical. If you think back to Sir Matt Busby when he got Franco Farrell in one of his handpicked, he had a lot of his own. Then after that, he got Tommy Docherty. When it went on, one of his old players, I think, took over from Franco Farrell. They didn't work. There was lots. So I don't think this works. To be fair, I think he needs to get his own. Yapstam, I think, is a good point. Maybe him sort out the back 4, but I don't think they can be coached. Actually, the back 4. They
can. They've still got youth. The 2, Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, still got time.
Yeah, well, they need to go though at some point anyway. So I think I'd remove all those out of the back 4 to be fair, and build a new team in. But no, it's. Yeah, I mean, I think Yapstam is a good shout. Rene Meulsteen's been out of it so long. Maybe, I don't know, because Mike Phelan's come back to the club, and I just see him sitting with his hands in his pocket to the dugout all the time and not doing fat lot really. So I don't know what they're going to bring to the club. So it's interesting. I hope, he may need someone of Premiership experience to probably come and help him. But I'm just wondering who that be. I'm not keen on Steve McClaren. To be honest with you, he's been out of the game for a long time as well. I mean, bringing back these old hands into the Premiership now has moved on a lot, hasn't it? It has moved on a lot. So I'm hoping Ten Hag brings in his own crew from Ajax who helped him along. I don't know who would come in, to be fair, to help him. Rene, and
I know what you're saying there, Paddy, about obviously certain managers been out the game a long time. They may have gone out the game a long time, but I was listening to something that thing said at what's his name, manager Watford now, Roy Hodgson said a few weeks ago, back when he got employed back by Watford, and he said even though he hasn't been in the game long enough, he's still learning every day. So he's still going to all these UEFA meetings. He's still sort of on the training ground. He's still doing bits, but to our knowledge, we're not seeing it. So saying sort of like Steve McClaren's probably been out for a while, say for instance, I don't know, Van Persie, Yapstam, or whoever, or Meulensteen, they're actually probably doing coaching behind the scene, but we just not seeing what they're doing or what teams they're working with whatsoever. They could be doing sort of liaison with other clubs, helping them get through certain situation. Teams are getting relegated at the moment. They're going in as sort of like someone who's just there to help encourage them, show a few different sort of style of play and see how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I get that point. I mean, Darren Fletcher's there at the moment, isn't he? He's again one of the Fergie loyalists. He's been placed in that position. I think we're right. I think some people we're talking about, do we need to really remove these people and move on to a new era?
I'm
sort of pointing down that road now of possibly going to a new era now. And I love Sir Alex Ferguson to bits. Can't even believe how much of a hero he is to me. But maybe these people need to, like Sir Matt Busby had all these people around him. They all had to break away in the end. They had to be new. Tommy Docherty came in and got a new setup completely, and it worked and brought his own brand of football in. Maybe this is football. It's going cyclical again. Now this new manager.
I don't know what you think on Monday with this as well. Do you think, I believe it as well, and I honestly think that's how the club should do. If the club is bringing like the new manager in the club and he's going to bring in his new number 2, he should be able to bring in his whole backroom staff and literally every single person within Man United who's been there since sort of like Ferguson era, basically just say see you later and just rebuild from the bottom. At least then that will give people and give them the opportunity to show they actually care about the football club rather than being too commercial. They can be commercial, but be commercial quietly.
Yeah.
But then,
Go on.
yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think the same thing applies. Like if he wants to bring his own players in, you make that over stages, don't you? I think Ralph was saying the other day it takes about 2-3 windows to change things, because you can't dramatically say, right, everyone's shipped out the first 11 and we're bringing in a new first 11 and expect them to sort of gel. You can't just say all the kitchen staff, all the coaching staff out, we're bringing the new staff. You have to incorporate them in slowly, I believe, to make it work correctly. Because say you go for a new job, someone has to show you the ropes and shadow you for a few moments. This is where we do this. This is where we do. You know, it takes a while. So I wouldn't support that to sort of bring everybody in. I think you need to keep some people in within the club. But obviously, what we're hearing now on the Man United agenda about something I didn't know about before, about the infighting and the civil war, then it has to be a bit more calculated about who is what side with who. If there's two camps behind the scenes warring with each other, then you have to be a bit more mindful about who should be out and who are the bad apples involved in the club. It's all about Man United Football Club. It's not about anything else. And we just want success as fans. And I'm sure all the people on board now with Erik, if he does come in and he brings his own people or whatever, they need to be coming there with they're neutral. They need to come there fresh with new ideas, and people need to take it on board. Just one thing to say about Steve McLaren and all these guys. They were good for their time. They brought stuff which was new and modern at that time. And I think there's coaches out there we probably haven't even heard of, which could come in now and modernize it even more. If we look at the Liverpool model, look at the Man City model, they're doing stuff which is so advanced right now, and they're getting good results. And I think we need to take that on board. And maybe I heard Mike Phelan might be leaving the club as well, which is a good thing. Sometimes you have to say out with the old and in with the new, and start getting on track. And you're not copying the model, but we can see what the model is for success right now. The style of football, the coaching, the runs, the drills, all this sort of thing. You can't fall back on Man United philosophy, the ways of Man United. That's all gone now. That's all gone. We've got to get rid of the program and wake up and get rid of the new stuff. So if Ten Hag knows his new stuff and he knows coaches, or Robin van Persie's been on a UEFA coaching course recently and met other guys and being impressed with some other coaches and says, oh, this guy, he's unknown, but he knows his stuff. That's how Klopp came through. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even though he was a player, he knew his stuff. He observed. He had great ideas. You talk to amongst each others. You go to these big cinemas as coaches, and you say, "Oh my God, this guy knows it." Very impressive. So that's how it's done. And we don't know about this world, but I'm sure we have to trust people that do. And that's why I think Robin van Persie or someone of that mold who's just coming out of that sort of schooling and editing would know who the best person to bring in would be, and so would Erik as well. So trust these guys to bring the staff in.
I'm going to say something now, and I'm going to sit there, and it might backfire on me later on, but I'm going to say trust the process. Trust the process. This is a process we have to trust as fans going forward. And if we want sort of like the team and the club to be successful, yes, I know people go out and blame the Glazers, but as fans, we've got to remember we are no bigger than probably a top 7 or top 8 club at the moment in English football. That's where we are at the moment. So we need to build those bricks back up to get back to number 1. And it's not going to take a season, 2 season, 3 season. It's going to take at least a good 5 years to do it. And we've got to sit there and with that is back the club. Yes, we may win 1 or 2 trophies on the way, but for me, I'm not even expecting to win trophies. I just want to see an improvement season by season, and that's all I'm interested in with the new philosophy and the new manager in. So Amanda, would you mind going through some of these comments quickly? 16 in the chat as well, guys. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Stephen Fletcher, welcome back, sir. I haven't seen you, but Amanda's going to go through everything anyway.
I want to say hi to Ian Shaw. How you doing, Ian? He says, isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around and one you can't move. But where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Is that a song? I don't know.
It is, yeah.
It's a song, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Football United TV says we are a franchise. This is Matt. It's the same with Arsenal. Both roofs are leaking while the stadiums for NFL are
and there's rats everywhere as well.
And we feed the Tampa Bay Bucks. Sue again. Sue's very vocal today. And she's coming with a lot of good content. She's saying here they need the fans to be on side with Poch. Poch had to come in the big divide. Ten Hag gets more back in. Will Ten Hag join if he's not backed? I hope not. Coming down. Project. How you doing, Am Project? Welcome to the channel. I haven't seen you before. He said
No, I've
Rane
seen
will
him.
have a list
He's
of
been
players. Rane will have a list of players that need to clear out. That's a good, yeah, totally agree with that. He will. This is what he's there for. He's taking notes, guys. Ian Shaw says McLaren, seriously, even as number 2, he's shocked by that.
Hold on, can I say something there? Yeah, can I say something to
Yeah.
Ian Shaw there if he's still watching? He's sitting there saying about Steve McLaren at 60 years old, yeah? I'm sure they had Brian Kidd when Brian Kidd was like, what, 60 as well? Didn't they bring Brian Kidd?
McLaren replaced Brian Kidd, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was slightly older than him, and he brought him Man City, and he made Man City successful as well. So you can't...
Oh, right. Okay. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Sorry.
Hold on, right. So Brian Kidd was assistant at Man City. Well, after he left Blackburn, he went back to Man City, you mean?
He went Man City, yeah. He was at Man City for a few years.
Yeah, with Mancini.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he did. Yeah, because he's Man City through and through. Yeah, so that. But a great manager he's working under, though, isn't he, Mancini? I think he was the controlling mind, though, wasn't he? But it's a good assistant, yeah.
Pat Lawless is saying, I agree with Bath Time. I don't know if you guys go and rewatch the show, what Bath Time was saying. I totally agree with Bath Time. He says, fresh start, regardless of our love for Rene. And
Rene.
we got Matt Bassett's in the house. This is where
There we
we're
go.
talking about Yapstam. He thinks Yapstam should be a good defensive coach. Bringing on board Steve Fletcher. How you doing,
Big
man?
up, welcome
it's a long
back, sir.
time since we see you, Steve Fletcher. Big up, man. Good to see you. He says big up, guys. Finally managed to get some time to watch you guys live. And it's the news he's been waiting for. So he's delighted. And Eddie as well, dropping a like.
Big up, Eddie.
He's not getting excited about his appointment until it's official. Oh, so you will be once it's official.
Yeah.
And there's a proper aligned signings. With that, Steve Fletcher again is saying about the Yapstam, he will be able to coach our young defenders and new transfers. Brian M is in the house. How you doing, Brian
Big up.
M?
I think is that... Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Okay, so Brian's saying Ronaldo's going to sit up and listen to Rene. That alone could have a big impact on the squad. And coming down now, we've got one more here. There's Linville's in the house. Sorry, Linville. How you doing? Long time no see, Linville.
Long time no see.
What are your thoughts, Linville, on the news?
Come on,
Let us know. Let us know. Linville, let me say this. Linville is one of the vexest mans I've ever known. You know, see, he's a serious man and a wise man when it comes to Man United. I would love to know what you think, Linville. Does it vex you, or are you skin and teeth?
Also, I got to give Linval, while he's on the thing as well, Linval's part of the actual United agenda. He's been here from day one, but you don't see Linval whatsoever. He only comes on now and again, but he's around, though. Big up.
Well, if he's around, it must be good news because he's
it's good news, yeah.
So welcome, Linville. And lastly, Matthew Bassett saying, this is a new dawn for Man United. Richard Arnold has actually listened to a footballing person in Ralph and got the number one choice in the coach. Hopefully, this will be a sign of we're headed in the right direction. Yes.
One direction at it, guys. But listen, guys, it's been absolutely fantastic tonight. Great news for me. I'm happy. I'm excited, even though I wanted Poch in. But listen, any news is good news, providing the owners give the clarity, the guidance of what the club want to do, and also back the manager all the way as well. Back the manager. That's all I'm saying. Linville is laughing at us as well. So, final thoughts on Monday.
My final thoughts is thank you everyone for coming in the comments. It's all positive in the comments. It's positive at the Man United agenda with the panel. I'm still waiting to hear what Linville's got to say because that's the
He's laughing.
key. Yeah. He's laughing. But what does that mean? What does it mean? You know, what does it all mean? I want to say thanks to Bath Time. Thanks to Phil yesterday for giving us more insight. Thanks to Paddy downstairs giving us great insight as well. I'm really excited about this. This is the way forward. It's the right decision, and there can be no doubt about that. I'm not having any question marks in my mind about this. This is the right thing to do, and I'm really looking forward to us playing a new brand of football, an exciting brand of football, and stay with the Man United agenda, guys, because it's starting. This is, you would say you were here first at the beginning of this such great thing. So I'm really excited about the whole process now.
And again, like I said, I'm excited. But guys, as we said earlier on, Bath Time did say, if you didn't see the show yesterday, go check it out. Great insight about Man United. Absolute great insight about Man United. Yeah, you do, Linval. You do need to come on soon. We do need to see you on. What, have you got a haircut now, yeah?
I want some fritters. I used to make some beautiful fritters the other day online. Wicked. Great cook.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go. He's glad the Expos boy ain't coming. Oh, come on, Linval, man. I thought we're connected with him. But no, guys, on a serious, any final thoughts, Paddy? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, one point I want to make when Ten Hag does come in, if sources are true now, I do want to see some ruthlessness. I've got to be honest with you. I want to see some major decisions, like
Ruthless aggression.
And then what Guardiola did with the goalkeeper, he said, "Look, you're not going to be my keeper. I'll bring in some vet in. That's it." And also, he'll have, and again, the model that OMONDI talks about. He'll have those coaches beyond. I think he's got about. It looks like about 8 coaches beyond, but they're all friends. They're all as advising Pep. And I think I do want Ten Hag to have that closeness with his coaching staff. Advising him. I'm looking forward to that model, bringing our model anyway. Through. Looking forward. Brilliant decision. I'm chuffed.
Monday, you chuffed.
Yeah, I was just saying it. I just want to great point that you're saying about the aggression and to coming in like that. I think that's really key. Yeah. It's a good shout, Paddy.
Yeah.
What's this? I look 20 years younger. I'll give the job to Paddy. He's
no, I don't want it. I'm only interim manager.
Oh, brilliant. Absolute quality. But guys, listen, we'll be back tomorrow night at the same time. And if you're new to the channel, hit the like, share, subscribe button. And listen, we've got the watch along coming up on Saturday. We've got the Friday night takeaway. I'm actually going to be on the Friday night takeaway as a guest on Friday night.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly. That should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Show? I want to look. We got big game of the weekend, man.
We got Everton. I think it's currently they're on their knees. Yeah, I think they're currently 2-2 at the moment. So for me, I will be on the channel. Sorry, on the show. I'm looking forward to it as well. Like I said, are they still drawing? No, they're losing. Everton losing 3-2.
Wow.
They were 2-0 up. So we're there for the take. We're there to take them out, but it's Man United. So happy or sad.
Matthew Bassett, send us a DM.
Pardon?
Send us a DM, Matthew Bassett.
I'll give you a better idea then, Matthew. Let me see something. I'm going to stay on for 1 more minute. See if you can get this. Hold on 1 second. Stay there 1 second. I don't know if I come off screen. I'm going to put you on big screen so I can get the phone number for him. I'll put the phone number on screen.
Yeah. So guys, I'm glad you're all happy. I mean, me and Paddy are delighted, and I want to see the style of football we play. I want to get a left-footed right winger, someone sit on the hard to touch line and then cut in and do the business like that. I want to see us have a younger, fresher squad, people that are well drilled. In sync with the system, and someone who probably knows the system. Footballers these days, they need to study the game. They need to have more IQ about positions and shape and where to be at certain times. I think that's so important these days. So a lot of these Dutch players are well drilled with that. And just quickly, I just want to add a final point before you're going on. I'm going to read out a list of names of Dutch managers that have come to England and whether they've been successful or not. Ruud Gullit with Chelsea and Newcastle. Martin Jol with Spurs and Fulham. Gus Hiddink with Chelsea, Louis van Gaal with Man United, Ronald Koeman done really well with Southampton and also with Everton. Well, didn't do well with Everton, but was at Everton. Dick Advocaat with Sunderland and Frank de Boer. I don't know if you'll remember that. He was in there as short as Brian Clough was at Leeds. He wasn't there that long at all, was he? And but a great player and had a great ideas of football.
Yeah,
and that's the contrast, I believe, between English football and Dutch football. There's a major difference in the two, but when you gel them together, maybe it would work.
Quick one as well, guys. I was going to ask the question earlier as well. Dutch manager went to Crystal Palace, only had about 4 or 5 games.
Frank de
Boer. Is there a chance we need to be very careful? What a player, but is it a chance we've got to be very careful sort of with Ten Hag, or are they sort of like complete different? Paddy.
I think they're totally different. I think this guy's a different proposition altogether. To considering to Mr. De Boer, I think it's a totally different proposition. They're totally different. I really think that. I don't think I've got an issue with this one, but yeah, you've got to be cautious, obviously, because of the leagues and stuff. Because we talked about the leagues being the difference, isn't it? But maybe it's a bit different this time. Definitely, I think it's a bit different. Definitely.
I think Frank de Boer is from the school of Ajax, so he knows all about Ajax, the setup, how to run a club, how they play their football, how they teach their youngsters, that kind of thing. But the difference, he was just retired and just quickly got into a coaching role, and then suddenly got a job like that. And I don't know if he was he with Simon Jordan? Simon Jordan's getting a lot of views right now on Talk Sport. He talks a lot of sense. I don't know if he was Simon Jordan at the time at Crystal Palace, but he didn't last long because they couldn't have the time at Crystal Palace. You don't have the time to sort of incorporate that sort of style of football and get players like I was going to name who's the old West Ham centre back who didn't fit. I forget. They had some big old English centre back. Expected him to sort of adapt to this new style of football, and that's why it didn't work initially for Frank de Boer. I think Frank de Boer, given more time, without that fear of relegation, he could have done really well. But when you put new projects together like this and new ideas, and then there suddenly is a risk that you're losing the first 6 games and fans on your back, you know, it could happen to United. It could happen to United that way, where we could lose a lot of games while we're trying to find our feet, and then fans, you know, unwise fans might get a bit itchy and start getting scared.
Can I come in there on Monday? I think this guy, from what I've done, the research I've done on this guy and watched this guy and how what are the, you know, I think I go back to Pep where he's talked about this guy. I think it's really, really positive, especially how he's worked under all these great managers and what they've said about him. I think there's a different proposition with this fella, this Ten Hag, this time coming into the club. I like the way that he's worked under, as I said earlier, how he's worked under all these managers and learned. I think it's such a plus point. And positive, I think that's going to be the difference. What he's learned, I got these great managers worked under them. He's done his apprenticeship big time, and he's put that into practice while winning these leagues in Holland. Spot on.
Yeah. Sorry, Errol, you have to speak up. Can't hear you.
No.
Pat, the number is there. If you would like to reach out, then that's the number. I'm just double checking because I've got extra phone, but I don't actually know the number top of my head. So this is the number. We'll leave it on for a few minutes for you. And that's how you get onto the channel. Yeah, Pat? At the moment, I'm going to try and call that number to see if it is the actual right number. I'll set this phone up. But the problem I have at the moment is the number. I ain't got a clue. I don't even know my own phone number.
Paddy, can I ask you a question while he's doing that?
Yeah.
So knowing Pep has obviously been successful at Bayern Munich and at Barcelona. But did you think he would, because he did have problems, did you think he would be successful with his new system in English football?
With Manchester City, you mean?
With Man City, but there's the style of football. And do you think that would have been successful? Did you think he'd have success incorporating that style over here?
I think he did. And I think he brought his philosophy into that team. And he picked those players carefully, didn't he? And he really must have studied what he was going to do, or really planned what he was going to do. And it's all matched, doesn't it? His philosophy into that team now they play, and it's worked spot on. I'm so enamored by that. I really am, regardless of him being the what you call them, the noisy neighbours over the road. They are, but I've got to give heads up to some of these players he's brought in are fantastic. And the system. Philosophy's down to one manager, though. His system. That's it.
And it's also his system or his style of play. He learned from Johan Cruyff, another Ajax legend and star of the Dutch footballing brand. You know, so hopefully we can get a touch of that.
Yeah. Oh, I love.
And you're a funny guy. You're a funny guy, aren't you, Herbert? You're a funny guy. Guys, from us, Pat, it is the right number. Sorry, Matthew, it is the right number. Reach out to us, please, and let's get you on one of these shows. Thank you so much. Leave Anthony Herbert to it anyway. Guys, from us, they're all having a thing now with Anthony Herbert, what he's saying about sex line. Message me when you're ready and we'll get you on. So guys, from us at the United Agenda, the breaking news is I think the Glazers have gone with what the fans want, but is it the right decision? We shall find out, but we've got to back the manager all the way now. He's in the club. From us, myself, Solo, OMONDI, and Paddy, have a good evening.